welcome back, everyone. I know this upload's a bit late tonight, but this one's been a bit tough to put together. I've had multiple conversations with this individual trying to figure out how to go about uploading this information. You'll certainly understand what I mean. I've been in contact with a guy, and we'll just call him Ryan for now, for probably 3 weeks, maybe a month. This is by far one of the biggest breakthroughs I've had since I started this channel. I'm extremely humbled and grateful that he chose to contact me, but I'm terrified all the same by some of the information he has shared with me. I plan on sharing everything with all of you. Everything I know, you're gonna know. I'm a bit shaky for this one, guys, but let's go ahead and get into Ryan's story. Grab a drink, lock your doors and windows, hit the lights, and let's get started. They say the truth will set you free. But if you ask me, some truths are better left buried. My name's Ryan. At least that's what I'm going with for now. I've spent years piecing together a story no one wants you to know. It's not just a story, though. It's my life. And I wish I could unlive some of it. I didn't start out wanting to be a whistleblower of sorts or get wrapped up in any kind of conspiracy. Hell, I didn't even think I'd end up in the Army, but life has a way of throwing curveballs. I was raised in a small town in Missouri, nothing special. My old man was a mechanic and my mom worked at a diner. We were never rich, but we were tough. I always thought that toughness would be enough to get by. When I joined the Army at 19, it wasn't for any grand reason. I wanted a way out, a chance to do something different. At first, it was what I expected. Tough, rigorous training, long nights, and a lot of hard work. I had a lot to prove, being one of the only kids from my town to join the military. The other soldiers were my new family. I didn't realize at the time how much I would change once I started seeing what the government was hiding. Everything went sideways in 2013 at Fort Leonard Wood, right after I finished basic training. I was green, naive, and I still believed the Army would always give it to you straight. That belief, however, did not last very long. During a late-night field exercise in an undisclosed section of a remote part of the base, one of the squads went missing. No screams, no gunfire, just a garbled radio transmission, and then silence. We found claw marks in the dirt, shredded equipment, but no bodies. Then something huge and fast hit my squad like a wrecking ball. We barely had time to fire before it vanished into the trees. It wasn't a bear. I don't know how to describe it except just wrong. It stood on 2 legs, had glowing yellow eyes, and moved like it was hunting us for sport. The brass called it a bear attack and told us to shut the hell up. But that wasn't the end of it. A few of us overheard whispers about Project Bravo and enhanced predators. Some kind of experiment gone wrong. That's when I started asking questions. A habit that has nearly gotten me killed numerous times. For the next few years, I tried to bury what had happened in the woods. I buried the memories of that thing, the sounds of its growls, the sight of its glowing eyes. I kept my head down and did my job, but you can't forget something like that, no matter how hard you try. Then in 2017, I took a freelance job as a wildlife consultant out in Black Ridge Wilderness of Utah. The contractor was shady, the kind that pays you well to not ask questions. My task was very simple: track predators, set up cameras, and report my findings. The first red flag were the tracks, massive paw prints that didn't match anything native to the area. Then there were the claw marks, impossibly high on trees, like whatever made them was marking its territory. One night while reviewing my footage, I saw it. At first it looked just like a wolf, but then it stood up on two legs. It sniffed the air, its eyes glowing as it stared directly into my camera. My stomach turned to ice. I called my supervisor, and his only response was, "Stay inside and don't provoke it." The next day, a Black Ops team rolled in, armed to the teeth. They didn't bother with introductions. I overheard one of them mention Project Bravo, and it clicked. This wasn't a predator study. This was a cleanup. They told me to leave immediately, and I didn't argue. But before I left, I saw them carrying in a massive metal cage into the woods. Whatever was out there, they weren't trying to kill it. They were trying to contain it. By this point, I was obsessed. I started digging into government projects, old files, conspiracy theories, anything that could explain what I'd seen. That's how I found Montauk. In 2021, I took a contracting job at the old Montauk Air Force Station in New York. Officially, we were there to remove old equipment. Unofficially, I was searching for answers. The place was a graveyard of secrets. Rusty cages, claw marks on steel doors, and one particular preserved claw in a glass case that matched the marks I'd seen in Utah. An older fellow on the crew told me the wildest story about Montauk being used to experiment on cryptids, including Dogman. He claimed they had even opened portals to bring these creatures into our world. I didn't really know what to think, or if I should believe him, until I found the file. It was buried in an old desk labeled Project Chimera. The document described genetic experiments to create hybrid creatures for military use. It even mentioned Dogmen by name, confirming they were not legends. Before I could read any more, a man in black snatched it from my hands and told me to leave immediately. The next day, the building was demolished. Officially, it was for safety reasons, but I knew better. Whatever was in that file, they wanted it to disappear. Now I'm here sharing this because the world deserves to know. These creatures are not myths, and they are not accidents. They're weapons created, tested, and unleashed by our own government. And if you think they're contained, think again. I've seen too much to stay quiet, but let me leave you with this. If you ever find yourself in the woods and hear a low growl behind you, don't even look back. Just run. I have a lot more to share. I just have to be somewhat mindful here, as I'm sure it's obvious to most. To the listeners, I've been talking with reels for a long time, and I'm willing to share everything I've learned. So I will be back soon with more. I just have to be careful here. This is not a game. I'll touch base again soon. Your friend, Ryan. As you can see, I was right earlier when I said this is a serious situation. Some of the things he shared with me is, well, there's no other word for it. It's absolutely terrifying. It feels dangerous to even speak about it. But that's why I'm here, right? That's why I started this. I can't back down at this point. It's late, guys. I'll cut this one short. I hope y'all are ready for Ryan's story, so as soon as I hear from him again, I will upload the next part immediately. Please, everyone, be safe out there and stay prayed up. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as we need to grow as much as possible. Until next time, my friends, watch over your loved ones. Keep your head on a swivel. And as always, good night.